I'm sorry, let me do that one more time. So I'm Rick Lemaster with the Boeing Company. I'm the Director for Vertical Lift Global Sales and Marketing.
Okay.
And I'm also our capture team lead for the UH-1N replacement competition.
Oh, you're trying to replace the Hueys.
Yes, the Air Force has got about 60 Vietnam era Hueys that they use for several different missions.
Okay.
And they're looking to run a competition starting this summer in order to go replace them.
Okay. And this program is you're introducing this to local media to introduce yourselves and your product and what you're about.
Yes. So the MH-139 is Boeing's offering to the Air Force for that competition, and it's based on a commercial derivative of the Augusta-Westland AW-139, which is owned by Leonardo. The AW-139 is produced in Philadelphia and has been for about the last 10 years. And Boeing is also in Philadelphia. We have our rotorcraft production for the Chinook helicopters for the Army in Philadelphia, as well as the V-22 Osprey for the Marine Corps and the Air Force. So we've got a long history of rotorcraft in the Philadelphia area. We've also got a lot of interaction with Leonardo, and so putting the two together seemed like a good opportunity to create an aircraft that would meet the Air Force requirements for the UH-1N replacement.
Okay. And this one, the M139, MH139?
Yeah, MH-139.
This is going to be equipped with the current weaponry that is on the Hueys or the Black Hawks, something comparable to that?
The Air Force has defined what requirements they want in terms of capabilities, self-protection capabilities, and we'll be including armament on the aircraft, similar like what we showed out at the air show over the last couple of days. So there'll be M240 automatic weapons that are crew served that'll be on either side of the aircraft.
Okay. I noticed when we were up there, they were demonstrating the self-stabilizing characteristic, how it can hover by itself, just simply by pressing a button. You can put it into whatever pre-programmed attitude that comes with that. These are some of the, things that you're showing off to the military, what your product can do.
Right.
Like self-hovering and
The aircraft's got an autopilot on it that allows you to put in some pre-programmed waypoints, and the pilot takes the aircraft up into a hover, but then can push a button, and the aircraft will literally go fly that flight profile that he's programmed.
Wow.
So it'll maintain heading, altitude, airspeed to go to defined points.
Yes.
And provide quite a bit in a way of a reduced workload for the pilot. And now he's no longer having to manage the cyclic and the collective and the pedals and all the manual flying. Now he can really focus on the mission part and be able to scan for threats, make sure that maintaining situational awareness while he's executing the mission, and let the airplane do the flying part.
It's also capable of evasive maneuvers in case you're being shot at?
Yes, it's a very agile aircraft. And it was developed by Leonardo for a number of different commercial customers, as well as paramilitary or first responders. For example, the New Jersey State Police, the Maryland State Police, the Los Angeles Fire Department all have AW-139s that they fly as part of their responsibilities. And there's also several militaries around the world, the Italian Air Force, the Irish Air Guard, the UK, and other countries that fly the aircraft in several different kinds of military missions. So what they haven't done so far, though, is sell the AW-139 to anybody in DoD. So this is, we thought, a good fit. Boeing's got a long history of commercial derivative aircraft, large aircraft like tankers or others, Joint Stars, AWACS, programs that we have modified a commercial aircraft to do a military mission. But this will be the first time we've taken a commercial helicopter and then militarized it to meet the Air Force's requirements. We think it provides value to the Air Force. You've got an aircraft platform that was designed to be very effective and very efficient in flying, very low maintenance cost, very high reliability, because those are the things that the commercial operators really value. They need to have the aircraft able to go execute the mission when they need it to. And the marketplace has driven in that efficiency so that the aircraft can be operated at the lowest cost. So I think those are all things that the Air Force is really going to value for this particular set of missions.
I didn't get a good look on that the inside, but it can also be converted for like carrying litters, getting
Yes.
wounded out of.
Yeah, the seating configuration that you see in there can be easily reconfigured. The commercial or civilian version can seat up to 15 people in the cabin. The Air Force has defined what the configurations are that they want us to be able to support, and we can reconfigure it to match all of those, or you can remove all of the seats and just use it for cargo.
Okay.
And as you said, we do have the ability to carry litters in the aircraft, so it could be used for medevac or for transporting patients from one hospital to another.
Okay. And who are some of the people that you're competing against?
We think that the Black Hawk is going to be one of our primary competitors. The Air Force had actually planned to buy Black Hawks for this replacement last summer, and then decided to go run a competition. And we're pleased that they've opened it up
Makes sense.
for a competition. And we think the Black Hawks, it's a great helicopter, but I think it's probably more than they need to go do the missions that are laid out for the UH-1N replacement.
It seems kind of limited. The Black Hawk seems kind of limited as to what they can do as far as what you're doing here also.
Well, I'm not sure I'd say it's limited. I just think it's probably a bigger helicopter than you need to do this mission, based on the way the Air Force has defined requirements. And as I said, as the marketplace has driven the efficiencies into the AW-139 and now the MH-139, we think we're going to be able to turn those into advantages for the Air Force. We think we'll save $1 billion over the course of the acquisition and the operation of these aircraft.
Do you know when the final decision date is going to be?
Yeah, what we understand is the Air Force is going to release the final requests for proposal next month, sometime mid to late July, and then we'll propose our offering to the Air Force. It'll probably take about a year to go through the process of questions and answers, and we should learn their decision sometime next summer.
Have you given any demonstrations to the Air Force yet?
We have, from a demonstration standpoint, we've had the aircraft available at different venues. We were down at the Air Force Association in Orlando, Florida, first week of March, and had the aircraft on display there. And we've taken it to several different other venues, like a air show down at Barksdale Air Force Base in the middle of May, and of course here. We've got several others that are planned, but as far as official demonstrations of the Air Force, once that competitive process starts, that's entirely up to them.
Do they actually acquire helicopters from the various competitors and test them themselves? Is that part of their process?
Yeah, as far as I can tell, that's not going to be part of what they're going to do in this competitive process. I think their belief is they have a lot of information about the offerers, and they're looking to get this done as quickly as possible. So I think it'll be based on what we propose, how we're going to meet the capabilities they've required, and then it'll be a question of what do we cost. And I think our real challenge here is to be able to offer the Air Force a compelling offer that is really an offer they can't refuse, and that's what we're focused on doing.
Well, this has to be considerably less expensive than a Black Hawk, I would think, considering the size and the weight, all the other factors in a Black Hawk. This has got to be a less expensive option.
Yes,
both to purchase and to operate.
That is our belief. We just have to go demonstrate it.
No. That's a good interview. Thank you.
The main question I had was whether or not they were going to acquire them, and I wasn't sure. I mean, I know how the testing process used to work, but this is a whole new day and age.
Yeah, I think in this case, because the aircraft are expected to be off the shelf, basically bring what you've got. If you have to make some minor changes and put some non-developmental items on the aircraft in order to meet the mission requirements, then they've got some time allotted to do that. But they feel like they're buying a mature platform. And in our case, we've been in production for 10 years out of Philadelphia. I've built 250 of these. There's over 800 flying around the world. So it's a very well understood platform. And I think the government feels like they certainly they know the H-60 very well. The Air Force has H-60Gs. They're developing the combat rescue helicopter, the H-60 Whiskey. They've got a lot of experience with that. So I think they feel like they understand this. And of course, the Bell successor to the UH-1N would be the Yankee, the UH-1Y, that they're selling to the Marine Corps, UH-1Y. I'm sure the Air Force feels like they've got a really good understanding of those capabilities as well.
Okay.
And so we're probably the one that they would understand the least. And that's what we're trying to do two things. One is to let the public know that we've got this capability, and because of the way it's evolved, taking a commercial successful aircraft and then a military derivative of it to meet specific requirements is a proven methodology to create a very cost-effective solution for the Air Force. So we're out. One of the reasons for coming to air shows like this is to be able to expose it to the public, talking with the people like yourselves and in the media, and say, this is what it is.
Are you guys also marketing this as a medical helicopter to hospitals and healthcare facilities?
Yeah, the Leonardo company markets this for medical support.
I didn't want to mention that while that was going on, because that's not the
Yeah.
purpose of what you guys are doing today, but I work a lot taking pictures of locally CareFlight, MedFlight, and their helicopters and stuff, and this just seems like it would fit in.
Yeah, it would fit in
very well.
Yeah, and so, and you probably could talk more.
So our sales teams are aware of both of those programs that you just mentioned, and they're actively trying to sell into whatever program they can get in front of. So,
You know, as I sat in that today, it seems like it's more spacious than theirs, but that's probably unfair because theirs is full of all that medical equipment and stuff, so it's kind of, it's not the same comparison.
right. Well,
But-
yeah. You're talking about compared to the aircraft that were on display at Dayton?
Yeah, those are the ones I'm used to being around. And,
Right.
you know, you get inside those and you feel like you're in a small closet, and today
Right.
it was kind of like, oh man, this is cool.
Right. Well, I can tell you, we can send you some photos of interiors for the 139. Even with a heavily configured EMS aircraft, you have a lot of space, which is why you have EMS programs selecting it. At Maryland State Police, as an example, they have a dual medevac mission, and a fully configured EMS 139. You've got significant space to move around.
In fact, if you go out on YouTube, you can hear the Maryland State Chief of Police talk about why they made the change that they made from their previous helicopter, commercial helicopter, to the AW-139. And he just talks about the decision that they had to either upgrade their previous fleet or go buy these new helicopters, and the new helicopters have paid for themselves.
Perfect.